So that's all now up and running. So this will be the first proper start of the game. Well, it won't look like the proper start of the game, but it will be the start. I think it's Zerschmetterte Realitäten. It's basically German for Shattered Realities.
I'm definitely seeing how that's happening.
Oh, it will get worse. That's hence the amount of work I've had to do in the background. Yeah, it took, let's see, I started, when did I start? I think a few weeks ago. It took 2 weeks of my week off, 2 days on my week off, to finally get it round in my own head what was going on. To actually make sure that everything was where I needed it. Still haven't written the main plot, but that doesn't matter.
Sounds like it'll be fun.
Yeah. And I need to do a little bit more. So yeah, if it works, I might use this idea in other games. So, you started off, was it at the end of the game, if I remember rightly? Was it with last week with finding 10123, the foul-mouthed? Was it foul-mouthed? Was it 8-man? At Smelly Sal's on that, who promptly was a little annoying and disappeared at speed. If I remember right, high speed was into the city, and at that point was it as you gathered, someone was watching you in the form of Victor. And yes, and you sort of lost, and you had this sort of discussion about what you were going to do, and you need to get a bit. Was it 10123 because you'd be paid to do that, if I remember rightly. I think you just generally wandered around, not doing a lot at that point.
We lost Bart.
That's it. I think you wandered and found somewhere, was it quiet to sit down? I think you went to the pub, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to the Bull and Bush pub, yeah.
Yeah, was it a brother, was it Bart, who was still with you at that point?
Yeah.
And you were handed, one of you was handed a message, which, if I remember rightly, where was it? I think you won it, I didn't put it on there. Oh, well. One of you was handed a message. Oh, he did, there it is. Got it. No, cancel. I just want to see what it is. I don't want to download it. It's not being very friendly at the moment. No, it's not really that. I think it was something like a series of numbers or letters, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you. Yep. You handed a message. You sat in the pub having a general discussion what was going on and what you were going to be your next actions. At which point that Brother Bart sort of disappeared into the restroom or the toilet and never came out. And you were having hours of fun trying to figure out what he was up to. And he literally disappeared. If I remember rightly, the barman didn't know where he was.
No.
Barman didn't know who he was.
Yeah, exactly. So he literally was it.
And there was no sign of him outside either.
No, there wasn't.
He'd have never got through a window in monk robes without snagging something.
Yeah, there was absolutely nothing. I think you also got a message, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Which one was it? About going to attend the first test site of the reality engine.
That's it.
At the Hitler Memorial Labs at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes.
And it was from SS
Gruppenführer von
Falkenhausen.
Yeah, they like their titles.
I don't speak German, so I struggle with it.
I think it basically means group leader. It really
yeah.
Is. Yeah, that's all it means, group leader. Their names sound good in German, but in reality, really don't. Just things like group leader, section leader, and that's it.
Yeah.
Rather, was it boring? They weren't exactly one of the most ones yet. Oh yeah, and while I think you were in the yard, you had the message. Sorry, the next series is leaking into the current series. Normal was it? Service will be resumed soon.
Yeah, we found that on the back of the pub.
Yeah.
That's it. you can get that. I think you went to toilet then.
We found the footprint of Brother Bart in the bathroom.
Good, yes.
Yeah.
In white in the bathroom, and that was about the only thing you found about him. Oh yes, you also had the jump, didn't you? Where you left out and you were you moved to, I think it was Sherlock Holmes and the machine in the docks, and you were talking with a certain was it Mr. Lucian Quatermain. You were on a carriage to what was it? On a carriage to the building in the docks of East End of London. And I think he was talking about calling you, was it Scholar Dalton, and talking about they've been trying to do with the Dream Factory building an infernal machine?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I've got written down there.
Yeah, you basically had a nice trip and you got to the actual building where it was. Inside was Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson looking at this machine. And as we were looking at it, and they were all quite perplexed, because it was a big machine with lots of cogs, pistons, pulleys, which didn't seem to make any sense, with lots of runes on it. And as you looked at it, it sort of got a bit more uppity and got faster and faster and faster, into a point that I think it actually exploded in a blinding white light, and you find yourselves back outside the pub again. I think you had a call from, was it a Professor Kovac, who said that he wanted a meal with yourself in the evening, which turned out to be in the Awa Delights, which is the one in Millennium. It's one of two restaurants owned by, I think it's Mitch, the Japanese guy that Professor Dalton knows.
Yeah.
You usually go to the Tokyo Delight, but you went to the more quiet of the two, because it's more discreet. Of which you had an interesting evening, basically, with strangely Mr. Morningstar present, who paid for the meal and basically listened to most of the conversation. If I remember rightly, they sort of dropped the 101.23, saying, "Wow, we don't really care about that anymore. Things have changed, and we're not bothering with it." So, and if I remember rightly, Professor Dalton got offered a job with the Department of Paranormal Studies at the Double Albany University. I think you agreed to a 6-month, was it sabbatical? And it was
a 6-month transfer, and see how it goes. And if he likes it, he'll stay. If he doesn't, he will go back to the archaeology.
They seemed to agree, and at some point they said, "Yeah, I'm giving you a job because Mr. Morningstar gave you a glowing reference and all this." And I think Mr. Morningstar hinted he may have a few things he wants sort of collected.
Yeah.
Yes, this is always a bit dodgy. And I think, they both leaving you in the restaurant. Was it generally enjoying, your drink and food? And I think that was...
we did notice that as he left, Mr. Morningstar killed a houseplant on his way out.
Oh yes, he dragged his hand across a houseplant, killing it in the process, yes. He was a little mean like that. And if I remember rightly, I left you, sitting there, generally contemplating what you were going to do next? Oh, yeah. I'd just like to remind you, at no point did he actually say he'd pay you for what you did.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, I just thought, at no point he said he was going to pay you, so he hasn't paid you for what you've done yet. So I'll just pop that in, was that no money was mentioned, and you were, as I remember rightly, you were staying there having a general drink, because all drinks were on Mr. Morningstar, so you could stay as much as you like. You shouldn't have had any issues. That's for next week. Right. And we start the game again at that point where you're generally contemplating what's just happened, contemplating the fact that certainly Victor, in the last since you've actually talked to, was it Professor Dalton, things have suddenly got very, very strange. E.g., you've already jumped towards, you jumped to Victorian England. You've had an SS officer in if I remember rightly, in a different in a typical SS uniform, but not with a typical swastika, was it armband on there, but sort of another sort of symbol on his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's up to you what you. And he said you're enjoying a nice drink. Are you going to sit here a while, or are you going to move on back to your respective homes, or what do you want to do now?
I mean, it's probably been an exceptionally long day. I think Professor Dalton will just sit here for a bit.
Yeah. If you sit there, you can sit there as long as you like. No one's going to generally disturb you. The bars.
I think I'll probably just sit there and contemplate as well.
Contemplate. Actually, not quite true.
Oh.
Not quite true, Professor Dalton. You sure at some point you see a familiar young lady? You saw when you first came here. You see sort of a glimpse of her.
Okay.
She was sort of walking towards another table. One you bumped into. It's one you bumped into when you first came here in the Sunken Barrio.
I'm just going to have to I'll just message you and double check I've got the right person who I think that's it.
Would.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I just want to see. Oh yeah. Let's see what it says. That's all I'll say on that matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is it? Sort of corner of your eye.
Well, you're sort of looking around as you're talking to Victor, and as you're sort of looking in there, sure, it's as if you've seen her going towards a table and sort of sitting down, sort of thing. It sort of didn't click until she sort of sat down, and it suddenly went.
Yeah, Professor Dalton is suddenly sort of slightly loses the thread of his conversation and is looking across the restaurant at somebody. I don't know whether you'd be able to pick out whom.
Yeah, she looks remarkably like the person you do.
Kind of wave in front of your face. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think I've.
You look
I
like
mean,
you've
this
seen a
place.
ghost.
Oh, well, that's an unfortunate turn of phrase.
I had a feeling.
I'm just. I'll be back. I'm just gonna check that table over there.
Okay,
Holler if you need something.
Okay.
you go over to the table.
No, he's a bit too freaked out for that. He's gonna walk round it, sort of a couple of tables way in a circle, and then circle back to the table. Because he's not entirely sure if he's seen what he's seen, or if his eyes are playing tricks with him. It's been a long day and he's tired.
As you go past the first time, it is who you think it is.
Right.
As you go past the second time, it's someone else.
Right.
As in, who looks similar.
Similar, but not exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Professor Dalton will come back. He looks a lot more composed and just sits back down. I'm sorry, I thought I saw someone I knew, but it was just somebody who looked very like somebody that I knew.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention you've got the devil card again.
Oh yeah, that.
Yep. And nothing else really happens the evening. You don't. No dogs with sausages. Oh, I forgot to mention you met the dog with a sausage fetish again, didn't you? You can say that as long as you like. About 11ish, they'll want to start asking people to leave as they want to close. If you can stay to then, and you can make the way wherever you're staying, or you are some distance away to where you need to get. So remember, right, you came on the bike, didn't you?
Oh. Yeah, I'll go back on the bike.
Yeah.
Is Professor
Victor will need a lift.
Kovacs? Do you need dropping somewhere?
Yeah, if you could just bring me to this location. I point at a map of a place that is definitely where I live.
Yeah. We can decide where it is. It's not too far away from yourself. It would be probably either something like the Sunken Barrio, or is the usual place where was it foreigners live, because it's full of foreigners.
It's alright to me. It sounded like an old spy trick, which is, just drop me off here, and it's actually nowhere near where he lives, but there we go.
You wouldn't know either way, to be really fair. You could be anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm too tired for that.
Yeah, you get onto the back of the bike and you start the bike off, and you sort of start to wander in that general direction. If I remember rightly, it's a fair distance away. You've got to go through some fairly dodgy barrios. Oh no, it's actually quite safe. You can go through the nice Justice Barrio, which is quite peaceful, well maintained, but avoid the 4 points.
Professor Dalton will avoid the dodgy bits.
Yeah.
Because he knows where they are now.
Yes, the 4 points barrio is and the broken winds are some of the less nicer ones. The Sunken Barrio is nice. Yep. So you get, well, you almost get there. At one point you stop at sort of a set of traffic lights, and as your eyes are wandering, you both notice there's a message on the wall. I'll just get the message for you. Where are they? Documents. Oh, I didn't print some documents off. Oh, it's too inefficient. Handouts. What's that one? Oh. There, so we'll start again now. Let me have a look. Haha. And it is a blatant quote. If you can get where the quote comes from, I might be kind to you. What is it doing? There it is. I don't know what they've done to this one yet. You see that message as you idly eye the wall. You see that message. Oh, I've gone and lost my plot. Literally. Oh, I got it.
Probability factor of 1 to 1. Definitely not working.
It's done in a female's voice, usually.
No idea where that's from.
Oh my god! Okay, I looked it up because I didn't get it at first, but
it is.
I really should have gotten it.
Yeah.
Because I know. Damn it.
Yep. It's actually from the Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Because they used was it the in-normality drive?
No, probability drive, infinite probability drive.
Yes.
probability factor 1 to 1. We have normality. I repeat, we have normality. Anything that you still can't cope with, therefore, is your own problem. So yeah. So apparently normality has been struck, and you sort of start to wander off again. And as you get close to where you're dropping off, what's it? Well, actually, you stop to drop off. Was it Victor?
Yeah.
As you're sitting there, sort of saying good night, two gentlemen in very long, was it raincoats? Was it sort of wander in your direction? Very long coats. Nice, was it? 90s, 40s hats.
Oh no.
Oh no.
As in the style of the coats and that look a bit dated, if anything.
Oh.
And strangely, not in German accents, but in.
Oh, I was fully expecting the Gestapo then.
But in, was it in what you think would be an Amarjarian accent? They sort of walk up to you and they sort of look at you. Papers? We want to see your papers now. Did you not? You're outside on curfew. Where's your papers?
Do you have any idea who I am?
One turns to the other. A smartass. If I knew who you are, I wouldn't be asking for your papers. Papers.
Hang on a minute. I've got to get the
Do you
thing.
need papers to be on this island?
No, you don't. Which is one of my.
Yes, you do. Since it was made a protectorate, you need papers.
Hey,
How
where are
long
you from?
Almajara. Where are you from?
No, I really thought I had something with that question.
Now, we
I'm
haven't
going-
got all night. If you don't produce the papers, we'll arrest you and we'll take you down to Gestapo headquarters. Now,
The
Wait, what is that? What's that over there? I'm gonna point behind them.
one looks back, and the other one just stares at you. There are
And the other one looks
There
back.
are two of us.
I'm gonna punch the other guy.
Ooh, that's yes.
And then hop on the motorcycle.
Oh,
Do I have to roll for this?
right. Roll 2d. You're actually taken by total surprise. Roll 2. Right. Roll 2d6.
Okay, should I do that in the
No,
roll?
3d6 because you've got for your skill. I'll just see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, this guy is going to go, and the punch is times 2. So yeah.
Alright. Should I do that in the roleplay chat?
That's the one. What are you doing at the moment, Professor Becky? Professor Dalton?
the professor is looking a little bit stunned. Nevertheless, he is ready to go on the motorbike because he was going to try and bluff it again, but this seems to be working too.
This is working better than I expected. So, right. Whoa! Times one. Yeah, you land. I think that's going to be the brick. The other one all of a sudden turns around and is now sort of fiddling with his gun. Let's see. Roll. Are you starting the bike up at the moment, Professor Dalton?
Yep.
Roll 2d6.
Me?
Yeah. I just want to see. It's just a general thing. Just want to see what you get compared to these guys. This guy. No.
What's the command on this?
Dash.
Sorry.
Number.
No, it's just exclamation mark, isn't
No,
it?
sorry. Explanation mark. Number D6.
Oh, Becky roll. Shit.
Okay.
It's alright, my dice rolls are notoriously bad. in all my other games.
Right, you sit on the bike, you're having problems starting up, and the guy draws his gun and sort of points it in your direction. And he gives you, and he says, "You have a simple choice. Either put your hands up, or I shoot you."
You have a simple choice. Either you put that gun down, or SS Oberstgruppenführer von Falkenhausen will get to hear of this.
Without papers, that's a really, how you might say, an empty threat. And what would you recognise as a very familiar voice from behind him says, in actual fact, he does know, the so-called SS Oberstgruppenführer, Gestapo officer, Mr. Gestapo. You recognise the voice as the voice of a Professor Henry Bonneville, who is dressed in a very nice 40s suit. Not a very archaic thing. He basically says, "I do suggest you actually put that gun down before I shoot you." And you actually see the guy's got the gun in his back. And the guy sort of puts the gun down, puts the gun away, turns around, looks very furious at this point. Then the guy, what you know as Professor, sort of hands in papers, at which point the guy goes very white, sort of goes, and the guy who's got there saying this, "Now, I suggest you pick your companion up and you leave." And the Gestapo man picks up the other one and sort of leaves. Well, I forgot what your character was. Well, was it SS Sturmfuhrer Dalton? It seems that I saved your bacon. And you, Major. And he looks at you, Victor. I would suggest in the future that you wouldn't run around here without papers. It's as you've gathered, the Gestapo can be a little above their rank, especially when they mess with ourselves as part of the SS Special Projects Division.
Good to know.
It is good to know. And Major, how is your investigations going? And he's sort of looking at you, Vic, at you, Ben.
It's going quite well. I think I'm making some solid progress.
I do hope so. The murders are a little distressing, especially at this time, and distractions to the project in general. Especially with the SS Group Ops Oberstgruppenführer here. He is, how you may say, making things very difficult for us.
I will try to have this problem solved as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, it's not up to me, it's up to, the SS. Yourself, always have to tread carefully, as we all do with the SS. Especially with the Gestapo. At our tails. Good night, gentlemen. I hope to see you, at the labs, tomorrow? Good night. And he literally just walks around and literally disappears, and I mean literally fades out of existence.
Wow.
That was weird. Yeah.
I feel cheated. I thought we weren't allowed to have guns here.
We're not.
So, oh God. So they, oh, they said they were from the island.
I think this is another one of those bloody time slip things.
Okay, so we're on the island still, but it's in the different reality / different time.
I think so.
No,
I've been stopped by random SS officers and asked for my papers before. Last time I bluffed it, and because obviously I don't have papers because I don't live in 1942, and I bluffed it by saying that. Do you know who I am? I'm SS Sturmfuhrer Dalton, and I'm a personal friend of the SS Obergrufen von Falkenhausen. It worked. They nearly wet themselves.
Huh. Well,
I've no idea why, but it seems to work quite well.
you must have a high-ranking position and know some high-ranking people.
Yeah.
I
mean, von Falkenhausen in our reality is just the head of department at the university, isn't he? For the paranormal studies.
Yep, and you've also, if you met another was it von Falkenhausen outside a certain CEO's, was it place? He was there before you met with the CEO of Beyond Human LLC. To do with 10123.
Yeah, there's a second. That's the one von Falkenhausen, and then he has a brother who is in the army.
That's it.
Huh. Load of parallels.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm really tempted to get myself some 1940s papers forged for the next time this happens.
I was about to say the same thing. We could also just do papers, like random pieces of paper, and probably distract them long enough to get away.
I mean, what year are we in, Andrew?
It's last time you looked, it was 2001, and it was January, about 6 days, the 6th of January.
I mean, would we be able to use the internet to get a copy of, like, what 1940s papers look like, print off a copy, and then just knock some up?
You might get some that ones, but probably the best person to do that would be Bartok, wouldn't it?
I think I have a student who stays in halls who might be able to sort us out with those.
Yeah, he can certainly do that. Because I remember he's at your apartment at the moment writing his UFO things and various paranoia he does.
Yeah. Yeah,
keeping your dog company.
Yes. Which reminds me, I need to go home.
Alright, well, I will try and get home from here without any disturbances.
Yep.
Okay.
Try for those papers tomorrow. Where should we meet?
The main square at the university? Oh no, we've got our appointment at 10, haven't we?
10 in the morning?
Yeah, to go and see the... at 10 o'clock to go and see the Hitler Memorial Labs, wherever the hell that's supposed to be.
You know, there could just be a chance that we might just end up there no matter what we do.
Very true.
So where are you going to meet?
I mean, we could meet an hour earlier at 9 o'clock at the university. Main square.
That'll be that's the science plaza.
Yeah. Well, it mentions labs, so if there are laboratories, it will be somewhere near the university.
Well, if there's a parallel
of
the labs somewhere, then
I mean, it could be the biotech labs.
Be the university, especially if that professor we just met, who teaches at the university, is one of the officers working on it. So I think that might be a good shot. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's all.
Yeah.
We'll meet tomorrow. Good night.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a quiet evening.
Mm-hmm.
And you.
Right, I can do the next bit either. Actually, I don't. You're going to. I can do this openly, but it will be interesting for yourself. For Victor, you get home and there's no trouble, and you find that everything's where it is. Right, do you want to do this separately, Becky? Because when you get home, you have your front door is actually open, as as slightly ajar. Do you want to do this separately, or do you want to do this in open chat?
You can drop out of the call and you can just message.
No, it's all right. Well, we've got separate channels, so.
You want to do this? I'll be with you in a minute. Yeah. I'll just take this down to the other one. It shouldn't take long to do, so I'll be back with you, Ben, quickly as possible. Okay.
Won't be long.
Right. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Right. You open the door.
Yeah.
The door opens and it's dark inside your flat.
Can I whistle for the dog?
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to be. He sort of barks, but he isn't coming to you.
Is there anything on the floor, like tarot cards or anything?
No. Flat is getting dark.
Does it look like it's been broken in, or has someone used the key?
Looks like someone's used the key.
Yeah, I'll just turn the lights on and see what's occurring.
On the settee in your front room, there is a familiar figure of Mr. Morningstar, sitting stroking your dog, who seems to be on his belly enjoying the attention. And Morningstar says, "Good evening, Professor Dalton. Sorry for my unconventional way to meet you, but I do have something important to tell you. I would let me finish before asking me any questions. Basically, someone or something is messing around with reality itself. Managed to break it somehow. It seems, Professor Dalton, it is centered around you and your companions for some reason. You seem to be how you might say, the eye of the storm, and all things are getting worse around you. At the moment, all that I know is it's what is happening, and the fact something is going wrong. I thought I'd just inform you, and if nothing is done, it could get worse, both for yourself and myself. It would, how you say, affect my business." And he just steps back.
What is your business?
I think we covered that in the past, didn't we, Mr. Was it Professor Dalton?
I genuinely can't remember.
Who do you think I am? And he smiles.
Okay. Well, the last time we met, you were in a coffee shop.
Indeed. Coffee shop? No, we didn't meet in the coffee shop. We met in the street.
Oh, yes.
Which coffee shop did this be, Professor Dalton?
The one that then puffed out of existence.
Interesting. As I said, things are, realities are being, damaged? Because I don't remember, was it such a meeting, Professor?
Yes, we met in a coffee shop and you offered us all the coffees that we liked the most without even asking us.
Interesting. It seems, and he stands up with that, things are getting worse.
Just to fix it.
At the moment I don't know, but if I do have any idea what I can do, I will try to help you in the future.
Also, secondly,
yes,
you put in a glowing recommendation with the professor regarding the Department of Paranormal Studies. May I ask if you expect anything in return? What that might be?
If I had done such a thing, eventually I would. But as I have done nothing, and this, as you said, is the second time we've actually met, or to my recollection, it seems that things are a lot worse than we expected. Anyway, on that, I will take leave.
Okay.
Good
And
night.
he just goes. Yeah.
Yeah, he just walks out the door, closes the door after him, and you hear footsteps going away from the flat.
Is it the Mr. the Morning Star I think it is? Does he have a British accent and wear very expensive suits?
You were talking to him earlier the evening.
Yes.
Right, I'll go back to the main street.
Yep. Okay.
All done.
Okie dokie.
You'll not know yet what, because for the rest of the evening you have a peaceful evening, and nothing particularly spectacular happens. Are you going to talk to Bartos about the papers?
Yes. I will ask him to run up two sets of papers, one in my name and the other one in the name of Mr. Viktor Kovac.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, it should probably say Major and whatever your rank was.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. Ask.
Can I ask Bartos if he remembers there being a visitor last night?
No. Like, what
Yeah.
visitor?
Yeah. Never mind.
Two sets of paper. So it would be SS rank Dalton plus Major Kovac. So there's been 1945 papers. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, so yeah, you have a nice, was it a peaceful evening? Was it? Bertol will be nicely busy with those papers. You say it might take most of the next day to do. So,
Okay.
So he might not be there till the end of the day.
Yeah, that's okay.
And as you're wandering around in the morning, around, was it 8:30, just as you go out, you both get a phone call, or your phones ring. And I'll deal with you. Do you answer the phone, Professor? Mr. Dalton?
Do I recognise the number?
Yes, you do.
Who is it?
Mr. Smith's number.
Oh. Good morning, Mr. Smith.
Good morning, Professor Dalton. This is a quick call to say, can we meet at the Bull and Bush at 11 p.m? It seems Professor Kovac forgot to give you your payment for your work to find, was it 10123? And he has given me the money, and I'd like to hand it over to yourself in the pub. So I wish you a goodbye for now. Phone goes down.
We will see you there.
Then your character gets a phone call. You don't recognise the number. Hello, am I talking to one Viktor Kovac?
Yes, you are.
This is Mr. Smith. I believe you were helping, was it a lab find a certain creature called 10123 for the making sure it was being returned back to the Department of Paranormal Studies at university. Am I correct?
I was involved in such endeavor.
It seems that Professor Kovac of the department has forgotten to pay you for your time. So, would it be possible for yourself to meet me in the pub at Bull and Bush pub at 11 p.m, where I can actually hand the money over to you?
Yes, that would be possible.
Now, just to warn you, your friend, was it Professor Dalton, will be there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wish you a goodbye.
Have a good day.
Right, and you make your way to the square, do you? Or you do anything else in the morning?
I'm going to grab a fire extinguisher, which I probably have somewhere in my...
Yeah. Oh, you're going to carry around a fire extinguisher?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be fine. People carry weird things on the island, so that's not going to make much difference.
Professor Dalton will just go for a run, take the dog for a walk, then get ready to meet Mr. Kovac.
Are you going on your bike to the square?
Yeah, just in case there's any time slippy nonsense, we can get to where we need to be hopefully very quickly.
You get to the square. The square is like the last time you saw it, except there's no dodgy characters running around, and there's no evil. Was it exchange or was it goods in the middle of the square?
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Kovac appears, apparently carrying a fire extinguisher. And
did you have an interesting night, or did the students do something to you?
Don't worry, this is just a precaution.
Okay. Did you have a visit from Mr. Morningstar last night?
No, I did not. Did you have a visit from Mr. Morningstar last night?
Yes, I did. I got home and he was sitting on my sofa playing with the dog. He knows about the time slips. He knows something's going wrong, but he's not sure what, and he doesn't know how to fix it.
Oh,
was basically
so
the
secret contract, like he was getting he wanted us to work to actually find this, but he doesn't want to let other people know.
I don't know what he's up to. I'm having difficulty keeping track of people because he seems to think that he's met me less times than he actually has. So I think the time slips are getting worse.
But
and
alternate reality
the weird thing is Mr. Morningstar doesn't look any different. So I can't tell the difference between which time slip Morningstar I'm talking to.
Well,
anyway, that's a problem for another day.
Yep. We have other things to tackle, I guess.
The good news is our papers are being worked on. They should be ready by the end of today.
Well, that is good news. Yeah, I hope we don't get a gun pulled on us again.
Such it is. Sausages. What?
Oh no. We don't have any sausages.
Big. the bloody people never bloody sausages, especially that one. And you hear some of the distance sausages.
Is that common?
It is. It's a little dog.
Yeah, that happens fairly regularly. It's a talking dog that has a sausage obsession.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Is this one dog, or are there multiple dogs?
It looks like
last
a scruffy
time you were in
jack.
a completely different place.
If you look at it, it's a fairly scruffy Jack Russell. Was it black and white? Was it I think it's short fur. Fairly well fed. But
To be honest, I just tell it to shut up and go away.
yeah.
I hadn't noticed whether it's different dogs or not.
No.
never paid much attention to it.
Wondering if there was a mysterious breed of sausage dog, but
I guess that's dachshunds.
Yeah. I think some of you have got to be somewhere about 10 o'clock, haven't you? Or 11 o'clock now, isn't it? So you've actually got an hour or few to waste before then. Is it, I think
well, if we're near the university, the professor is quite happy to show Mr. Kovac where his office is and the department and stuff.
Yeah, actually your office is still there, still in one piece. There's probably...
Last time I locked myself in here, I nearly got shot.
Yeah, there will be a letter on your desk.
Ooh.
From Professor Kovac, which basically, fun enough, confirms what you discussed last night.
Okay.
Confirms.
Does it give a start date?
Almost immediately.
Oh, well, they're not
With
looking
a
around.
6-month sabbatical.
Yeah.
And the letter is dated it's the 6th today, isn't it? So it's Saturday. I forgot the day. Saturday, 6th of January. Yeah, I forgot to change the date on my notes, but I know what that means. It was dated Friday.
Okay.
As in, probably written before you actually had the meeting.
Oh, I do hate being a foregone conclusion.
It looks like it was written before the meeting.
Either there's been a time slip or he's just exceptionally arrogant.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he was just very...
And as you're showing around, you see the old, Professor von Falkenhausen, Ernst von Falkenhausen. And he sort of was Professor Dalton.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning. I see that Professor Kovac has given you a better offer to work for his department. I got to know about it yesterday. It's a great shame, but hey, these things happen in this university.
Well, I have told him that I'm just going to see how it goes for 6 months.
Indeed. It doesn't stop us, working on certain projects, does it, Professor?
No.
No. And who is this fine gentleman you're with?
This is Mr. Kovac, who is a security consultant.
The old professor puts his hand out. He says, I'm Professor Ernst von Falkenhausen. I'm the head of the archaeology department. Head of, as the joke goes, a department full of old rocks and old, and relics. And he sort of laughs at this joke. No, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Kovac.
Good.
And how was it, Mr. Is it Bartok? Or I can never remember his surname.
Oh, he's doing quite well. He's doing good work as my assistant.
Yeah. I assume he will join you in your new venture.
Yes, yeah.
Did you ever find out whatever happened to Chugs in the end?
What happened to who?
Is it Chug? I forgot the name. The gentleman that...
Oh no, the
Yeah.
Yes, the gap year student. No, we were told he'd gone home.
Same here. It was still a strange thing that his parents still say he never returned home. No.
Well, I mean, to be honest, he was a little bit unreliable. He might have just decided to go on an extended gap year.
Yes, and considering the way this island works, as I think you've already gathered, things never quite go as you expect.
No.
Are you new to the island, was it Mr. Kovac?
I've been around, but generally, I haven't seen it all yet.
You are in for some surprises. This island is, how do you say, or the edge in general is very interesting and can be entertaining at times. Anyway, I can't waste more of your valuable time, Professor. I hope we'll see each other again. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Kovac.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Professor.
Indeed, I will. He sort of wanders off. He looks like the archetypal professor with a pipe and grey hair and beard. And he sort of wanders off down the corridor. Yeah. And you just show him all the labs, including the labs where you did various experiments in. With your dinosaur.
Does that look like SS Oberstgruppen Führer material to you?
Yeah, I think it's the same. Kind of wanted to give him a hard stare, see if it would break him out of the act, but I decided. I think if I gave him a hard stare, he might have a heart attack.
Yes, more than likely.
Yeah, he's sort of.
He's a very elderly professor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Which is why it's totally hilarious that in the time slip they seem to think that he's basically God.
Well, who knows? Maybe he is.
Maybe he
Guys,
is.
an old man.
It's a bloody good disguise if he is.
And you basically wander around. It's basically a nice office there. Do you show him the room where you keep all the yeah.
Professor Dalton shows you the archaeology department vault, which is where the department keep all their more valuable and more unusual objects.
Where did you actually keep the dinosaur in the end?
Probably still in there in a box.
Yeah. The toy dinosaur. Yeah, that's right. It's, including their pet toy dinosaur.
Oh no, that's still in a random box, but
yes, you hid it, didn't you?
Yeah, I know where.
Yeah. No, that's. I just wanted to remind you where it was there.
Yeah.
This time you don't get people pointing guns at you, and it's no one setting the place alight, if I remember rightly.
No.
Yeah, I'll just look at all the rocks and things and badly pretend to be interested.
Professor Dalton won't even notice that you're not interested. He's really into this stuff.
Yeah, as you point out the more unusual stuff which doesn't seem to be in place. As you saw, there was items which don't seem to fit any known time zones, as in time eras. Usually marked connected to the island, which include items with strange glyphs on them. Some that look almost Egyptian but don't.
Is it at all familiar to the infernal machine?
Aha! Some of the glyphs, certainly the hieroglyphs, seem to be very similar.
I'm not going to steal this. I don't want it, but I'm not going to steal it. I'm just going to point at it and say, I think we've seen this before. Maybe? Have we?
If you look at them, Professor Dalton, they seem to show.
Yeah.
You think some of the symbols, certainly some of the more obscure ones, were sort of on the machine. The one in the East End of London, the one that went bang.
Do you figure out what any of these mean? I know hieroglyphs work in a sort of language, and these aren't exactly that, but
these are unique to the island. That's fascinating. How did they get to London?
Well, something exploded, so
there's debris from something like that, and I'll just I'll be a little bit more interested, and I'm just going to kind of look around this thing and inspect it.
These glyphs are actually on all series of rocks, what you would think, or things like sections of walls. They seem to be a strange mixture.
Are they all from the island?
Yes.
Hieroglyphs that we're recognising?
Yes. But the ones you saw were inscribed into the metal of the machine.
Well, can we write down the ones that we recognise, and then we can find out what they mean later? I'm not an Egyptologist, but I might know someone who can look at them. Might be a very interesting conversation there.
We'll have to. I'm recording this, so I'm going to have to listen to this afterwards just to remind me. Because I suddenly thought I can actually put this on YouTube. Right. Yeah, they seem to be very similar to a number of those on there, and they most seem to date back to BCE. Some as early as 500, 600 BCE.
Okay.
BCE means before the current era. And they would be marked as BCE, they wouldn't be marked as BC.
As soon as you say that, I'm going to take a step away from the rocks. Just don't want to break them.
Yeah. And also the labels.
Can I hazard a guess as to what any of them mean? Just let me check my character sheet. Hang on.
I don't think you can. Then,
I don't think we really have any clues.
You can probably, know what they're not. They're not Greek. They're not Roman.
No.
And they're certainly not Egyptian. But
Professor Dalton starts sort of chuntering this. He's like, well, it's definitely not Greek, and it's not Roman either, and I'm pretty sure that it's not Egyptian either, although I'd have to check that one. And he's just sort of semi-ranting to himself about it, but very excited.
I'll just give every once in a while.
You're looking at the clock. It's about quarter to 11. You need to be somewhere.
Oh, 9:45. Oh, we've got to be at our...
Oh, sorry, quarter to 10. Yeah, sorry, if it's quarter to 11.
Oh, we've got to be at our...
Yeah, should we just go to the lab area and stand around?
Oh, you missed that.
Close your eyes, swirl around 3 times, see what happens?
Oh, that's not happened.
No.
For some reason. We've got
you both got to be somewhere at 11 o'clock.
Oh, yes, I need to be at the pub for 11:30.
No, 11.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if I wrote down past. Never mind.
Yeah.
I got a telephone call that I needed to be at the Bull and Bush for 11:30, so...
I have to be there as well.
Oh, are you meeting Mr. Smith as well?
Yes, I was informed you would be there.
Ah, great. Well, we might as well go. Can't keep the man waiting.
No, especially he employs you every few while.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you get onto the bike, it's not that, to be fair, it's not that far, but the traffic, you'll probably arrive about 10 minutes late.
Yeah, that's okay.
And if you've not been there, I'll just describe this to the pub to you, Ben. Just think of a typical London pub. As you go in, it's all wood, carpet your feet stick on, polished tables with various coasters on, and various white wings where the beer's spilt. What's just happened here?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. I've just disappeared for a minute. What happened?
Yes.
What happened there? Wait a minute, let me get back down to there. Oh, wait a minute, where am I? There I am. Ah, I have no idea what happened there. I think my, Discord decided to play silly so-and-sos. Yeah, and you basically... Oh, you have been here before. Sorry, I've forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where. Yeah. This
Even
is where
I'm
I'll
losing track now.
started.
And with a pint in front of me, sitting, you'd recognise Professor Dalton as Mr. Smith. Mr. Kovac won't recognise him. You actually haven't met Mr. Smith per se. It's a gentleman, middle-aged, very English gentleman, down to the suit. If he had a bowler hat, he'd be wearing a bowler hat. Very proper, and he stands up and he says, I'm glad you could come. Slightly late. Was the traffic bad for you? Was it, the gentleman?
Oh yes, it was an absolute nightmare.
As always. If you just bear here, what would you like to drink before we get down to business?
I think I'll be all right. I have some further arrangements in the day that might involve me needing to be sober.
I'll get you a nice a soft drink then. And yourself, Professor Dalton?
I'll just have the same. I might have papers to grade later.
Always the case. And he wanders off and comes back again and with 2 soft drinks. There we are. And he says, I know it's a bit early for the beer, but as you say, it's going to be a fairly quiet day, being a weekend, and I intend not to do a lot today other than sort out your monies. All I'll say is Professor Carousel sends his apologies. He got slightly sidetracked last night, I believe. I think you had a nice, meal at the Amarja Delights with a Mr. Morningstar. Yes, a gentleman that seems to be getting around a lot at the moment. So, yeah, and I believe he still owes you for your, getting of, was it 10123, which I gather they seem to think is unimportant now, for some reason. Never was it got, seems a bit pointless if they made such an effort to get it and then in the end just leave it. But hey, we are not the ones to, question. So no more ado, he pulls out 2 envelopes and hands one to Professor Dalton and hands one to, Victor. They've got your names handwritten on them.
Thank you.
Are you going to check what's in there?
No.
You make me awfully suspicious, but
I mean, I've worked with him before, so...
I would check Professor Dalton. The only thing he hasn't told me is how much he's paid you. If I remember rightly, even at least he should have paid you at least $100 to $200.
Yeah, I'll just I'll check it then.
And yourself?
I was just being nice.
No, I understand, but no, this is one of these times that it's better that you check.
Okay.
Yep, you open the envelopes. The envelopes are brown. If you do the same, do you do the same, Mr. Kovac?
Yeah.
Yeah, you open the envelopes and you look in, and strangely, the notes don't look as you expect. They actually got in German Reichmark. There is approximately 10,000 Reichmarks in there, plus a folded up bit of paper. Each is in 1,000 mark thing, and each has, I can't do the umlaut on here, well, I don't need to, and where you'd say the Bank of England, or you say it's the Bundesbank, it has the words, if I've spelt this right, the A has an umlaut, as in 2 dots above it, but I can't do it on here.
And this is supposed to be dollars, right?
Yes. I'm doing this.
Almajaran dollars or American?
No, the American dollars. I'm doing this the wrong one. I'll do this in the roleplay. Right, bear with me here while I do this. Control B. And where would you think the bank is that you get that written? And if you have a look at the letter. Right, so what event is this? Scene 4. So it's that one. And there's the letter that is typed and reads, and that's the letter in a plain sense. It's in a plain, was it sort of? It's just that's all that's written on it.
Oh.
And was it Mr. Smith is saying those don't look like dollars, do they?
No, they don't.
Interesting. Would you mind? Could I have a quick look, please, at one of the notes, if you don't mind, gentlemen?
Sure, be my guest.
Were you not aware of what was in this envelope?
No, as he said, was it that he just handed it over?
Well, actually,
He looks at the notes and saying, these are strange notes.
is this in any way how your superior would write normally?
No, as in,
Does
usually
he
you
use
said,
typewriter?
no, this is fascinating. And what's even more interesting, if you look at the notes closely, they're dated, I believe, 2020. No. And he sort of points down the bottom. They seem to be at things. I think I'm going to have a little word with the professor, I think. In so much that you still haven't been paid, have you, gentlemen, for your time? And we can't have that, can we? After all, your time is valuable, and I
Would you like the notes back?
No, you keep them. I don't think they're of any use. What I'll do is I'll speak to the professor either later today, and hopefully have this all sorted out for you, so at least you get your money. Pardon me, I apologise. This is a little unusual. Of the professor.
How much is in there?
10,000 Reichmarks.
Wow. Is that like £10,000 basically?
It would be equivalent of that.
Wow.
That's a lot more money than you expected. And there is a head of a gentleman on there, and no, it doesn't look like Adolf Hitler, but it is of a gentleman in a military uniform. And the next
uniform?
As in it's in colour, so well actually no, Queen's is in colour. No, it is it's German, as in SS sort of style uniform, as in he looks like the Führer would look, with a different face.
Is it von Falkenhausen?
No, it's a gentleman you don't know.
Okay.
Also, the notes themselves are, because this is 2F5, the notes themselves are made of, seems to be of a plastic material, seems to have some very strange, images on there that if you look at them, you'd recognise them as holograms, which is something that doesn't exist on notes. I know it isn't a picture of Mr. Trump either. Yeah. And Mr. Smith stands up and says, well, I think, I'll leave you to it, gentlemen. I will get back to you as soon as possible once we have this mess sorted out. So, have a good day, gentlemen. and hope everything gets sorted. And he sort of wanders out. And you have this nice envelopes full of this money.
I'll just stick it in my jacket pocket, the inside one.
Yep. And in walks a kid in a what they almost describe almost like a bellboy's thing, sort of uniform with a hat, saying, "Telegram for Professor Dalton. Telegram for Professor Dalton."
Yeah.
Said, "Oh," he walks up, sort of hands you over, "Professor Dalton, here's your telegram," and puts his hand out. As if it's for a tip.
Yeah, I'll give him some money out of my pocket, not the dodgy stuff we've just been handed.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes that. And you go and look at the was it? Right, which one do I need? Ah, it's that one. And I'll put that into your business. Do you want to? Are you going to show this to everybody?
Yeah.
I'll put it in there just to save. Was it? Yeah. You open the telegram, and it is a telegram. And that's all it says.
Watch out for the Humphreys.
I think it's watch out for the Humphreys.
Is it printed on the same material as the letters we just got?
No, it's actually, way telegrams are written, it's actually written on a ticker tape that's actually stuck to the paper, which I can't do in that. So it's sort of ticker taped out, and when there's a stop, they cut it up into strips, basically.
Yeah.
So it's a proper traditional telegram as they used to be. And something that isn't used anymore.
I was going to say, really, they're not used on Amarja, are they?
No.
The only 2 times I got a telegram, and this is the second, is when I've been sitting in here. Be prepared to be asked for our papers when we go out. I wish I was joking, but I'm not.
When I look at the notes we just got sometime in the future, is there any like you said there's some sort of like holographic looking thing on it? Does it seem like it's a message, it's important, or does that just seem like...
No, it seems to be part of the notes. They're the same on each one. It's a little bit more sophisticated if you compare it to the dollar, your dollars in your wallet. Your dollars in the wallet are paper. They tend to be, as 2005, they tend not to be as sophisticated as the notes go. They're basically proper greenbacks, as in I think 2005 they were still greenbacks. They weren't overly sophisticated at that point.
Okay.
So you're comparing a Stone Age note with a note with a lot of features. You'd assume they would stop people counterfeiting them.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The papers that we have saying a down payment, I'm going to take it out and say to Professor Dalton, we might want to get rid of these. I don't exactly know what's happening. I'm not going to pretend I know, but having something that says this on it is probably not a good thing to have, especially if we're going somewhere that seems to be a lot more violent, and they seem to jump to conclusions pretty fast. So maybe we should get rid of these. We can
get rid of the note that came with the money, you mean?
Well, it doesn't seem to have anything important except for something that could, maybe be used to accuse us of being criminals. I don't know.
Yeah.
How are you going to get rid of the note letters?
I mean, there's a bathroom. We could flush it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Either that, or is it one of those pubs where you can smoke? Could we just burn it in an ashtray?
Yeah. It
That
probably
might
won't
take
be
a while.
there. Yeah, you can burn in an ashtray.
I mean, I prefer burning stuff because then it's gone.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's do that then.
Yeah,
Just any way to get rid of it.
Yeah, Amarja isn't the same as the other places. You can still smoke in the pub, and there's still people there smoke. And they'll smoke, they'll sort of smoke wacky-backy, but they'll be very discreet about it. Oh, right.
Yeah. The note which says a payment on looking the other way.
Yeah.
Who would carry that round with them?
This is true, especially with the money.
Well, yeah.
Are you keeping
just
the money?
Makes it look like a drug dealer.
Yeah. Are you keeping the money in the envelopes, or are you getting rid of the envelopes?
Might be a good idea to get rid of the envelopes as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking what's in our bed. That's safety.
Yeah.
So you're keeping these loose in your wallet or wherever you keep them.
Yeah, keep them loose in the inside pocket. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your plans now for the rest of the day? What are you going to do?
You know a Humphreys or the Humphreys? Is this something that you're... Have you showed me the...
Yeah,
I don't think I know him. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I know anyone called Humphrey.
No, Mr. Smith is called Reginald.
Well,
Just double checking. I don't think I do know anyone called Humphrey.
You're checking all your notes now, have you?
Yeah, I'm just checking my backstory just in case I put in a random character called Humphrey. I don't think I did.
You're checking your previous was it telegrams you got?
No, I'm checking my actual character backstory.
Yeah.
No, I don't know a Humphrey.
I guess we should just keep an eye out for one then.
Oh.
I guess, shall we wander?
No, I know a Toby, a Sebastian, a Liam and an Andrew, but not a Humphrey.
Yep. Okay, and so are you going to leave the pub and find out where you're going to go next?
Yeah. When's our event? Yeah, when's the...
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, it was 10 o'clock this morning and nothing happened.
Yeah. Which could be a good thing.
It could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a pessimist.
Well, you've got a whole day to do what you need to do.
Well, I'm gonna... I don't really want these notes anywhere near my home or my office, so I'm gonna dump them in the archive at the university.
Oh, right, so you're running back to you. Are you keeping with him, Mr. Kovac? Are you keeping with the professor?
I don't have much else to do, and I figured the brains could use a little brawn.
Oh, okay, yep. So,
Well, the professor is just going to say that he's going to, because they are strange, he's going to keep them in the university vault, just in case.
yeah. And as you go out the door, Professor Dalton, you see two familiar characters, as in two gentlemen you met in the Peace Force headquarters, who they questioned you some time ago. And was it had to apologise for holding you at some point? And behind them there is a Peace Force police car with the back door open and a Peace Force officer standing there. And one of them says, the dark-haired one says, please will you accompany us to our headquarters because we have some questions to ask you about a certain ape man. we would like you to come with us without any trouble, as currently you are just being asked. You've just been taken in for questioning. And he sort of said, "Please join us in the car." Professor Dalton and your companion.
Is this going to be quick? Because I'm rather busy today. I'm happy to help, of course.
Of course, it depends how quick we can get things turned around at the headquarters.
Yeah, okay. Professor Dalton will.
And your companion, who would be this guy's looking
Go
here.
back. I'll come.
Thank you.
I am keeping my fire extinguisher on.
Yeah, they give you a strange look as you sit and put the fire extinguisher. And the dark-haired one looks at you. Yeah. What's with the fire extinguisher?
The what?
What's with the fire extinguisher as they start to drive off? Sirens blaring at fast as you do it. Yeah, what's with the fire extinguisher, sir?
Just for safety, for precaution. You never know what might happen.
He looks at the other one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, things have been a little strange over the last few weeks. Have you had any issues going through doors lately?
What, you mean dodgy hinges or something like that?
Could be, but more not ending up where you expected.
No, not really.
Yeah, most doors have and worked for us. Luckily.
Ah. And he turns out the other one. Told you, Bob, it was you were drunk at the time.
Have you had some problems whilst you've been going around on your round, officers?
Well, Bob here claims he was staggering out of the pub last night, and he said he sort of appeared somewhere else when he went through the door. Me personally, I think he just got so drunk he lost his memory, of which the Bob's just given evil looks. You know
where were you, Bob?
Bull and Bush, says Bob.
Oh, it's a great pub.
Yeah, and I stepped out of the door and I was outside. Oh, what was it? Lucky Sal's, or I can't remember, but I wasn't where I started. Of course.
Oh dear, somebody obviously put something in your drink, mate.
It said the one call was it Dave said, "There you are. Told you he was. You see, these gentlemen should know." Yeah. Oh, and we got. Yeah,
you have to be careful. I mean, especially if you're drinking out of a glass. Anybody can put stuff in your drink.
This is true. I mean, knowing Bob here, who's probably drinking the extra specials they do, with added vitamins. Sort of as it puts it, sort of taps his finger at the end of the nose, on the end of the nose. Yeah. So. And Bob said, "No, I never touched that stuff. I just touched the real stuff." And after a while, you eventually, you know where it is. If you've probably never been here, Mr. Kovac, but you go to what they think it's the arms barrier. You go in front of the big building, which it says Peace Force headquarters. The reputation is that people fall out of the windows a lot, high up.
Huh.
They have there's lots of accidents of people falling out of windows, about 2 or 3 stories up.
We have bad windows, I guess.
Yeah, like a certain South African police headquarters. They have the same unfortunate accidents. They sort of please follow us. We'll no booking in this time, Professor Dalton. You're not actually being arrested. Should make life a lot easier for you.
Ah, delightful.
Yeah, it means we don't have to apologise to you again. Mr. Smith can make things a little difficult, can't he?
Oh, he's a delightful man.
If you say so. And he sort of opens the interview room. If you just wait in here, we've just got a few things to sort out. Once we've got it sorted out, we'll take you to the 8-man. Okay,
Right.
just waiting here. And they sort of close the door, and you're sort of left there for about 10 minutes.
Did we go? Did we go up any stories, or are we just on the same?
You're probably on the ground floor.
Okay. We were on the floor.
Yeah, so you can't be dropped out of a window. And then after about 10 minutes, the two, you think the police force officers come back, and they basically say, right, we're all ready for you. Would you please follow us? And you're basically following the two police force officers. For you, Professor Dalton, you're going down to the lower floor, you know, where the holding cells are.
Oh yeah.
And these are quite familiar to you, because I think you've at least stayed in these cells at least twice so far.
At least twice, yeah.
Yes. One all night, if I remember rightly, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I asked them how long it was going to take.
Yeah, and they basically come up to probably the cell you stayed in, one of the cells you stayed in, and the guy, one that calls himself David, stops. He says, before you go in, I'll warn you, the person inside is a bit foul-mouthed, though not violent, and you are only here because you were actually mentioned by him, Professor Dalton. See,
In that case, I would much rather stay on this side of the bars.
there's no bars on these things, this is just a door. And he now...
Can I talk to it through the letterbox then?
No, it's face to face. We'll be there just to make sure he's won't do anything.
What
And
exactly was the reason for this
I want
call?
to find out a little more about, if you know a little more about him.
All right.
And he goes by the name of Bob now for some reason.
Well, now there's two of them.
Yeah. So, opens the door and there is the familiar ape man there. It takes one look at you. What the fuck do you want? You spawny-eyed
Do the
git.
same question.
And what's this big
What?
joker? Look at him. Looks like was it a string bit of piss.
If you're just going to be offensive, Bob, Dalton says with inverted commas, then I'm just going to leave.
Why? Thought you got used to the fact I called you a spawny-eyed git by now. And what these policemen to do here? You know, these pair of jokers was it brought me in here. For no apparent reason other than they claimed I was it wandering around was intent to look vagrant. Not surprising, I had a home until I was nicked from here. Now, what are you going to do about this?
Well, nothing.
What? You're just going to leave me here to rot?
Well, they can't keep you here indefinitely.
What about bananas? See, they're withholding my banana privileges too. They give me this food. It's horrible. You've eaten the food in here, haven't you?
No.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, naff off, you pair of spawny-eyed gits. And take those, was it, two jokers who claim to be Peace Force officers. Especially the one with the bald head. He's an absolute twat. And
Enjoy the rest of your stay here, Bob.
yeah. And they close the door. And they basically sort of say, the two Peace Force officers sort of take him back upstairs to the interview room and sort of sit down and sort of
Any point to that?
No,
As you can see, it hates me.
and it's a foul-mouthed little creature. Do you know any idea? It claims you were taking it to the Department of what was it, paranormal studies, and when we talked to them, they said nothing to do with us anymore. You're not. I gather you're not going to take responsibility for it.
No, it's taking responsibility for itself right now. I assume what it needs is a good lawyer.
Lawyer? They sort of look at each other. Not where he's going. We'll probably let him release it, but as he said, so you don't want nothing to do with him. He's not your responsibility now.
Well, no, it won't do anything I say, and it doesn't communicate with me, and it calls me a twat. So
yeah. Oh, okay. Was it so? We'll find somewhere for it. It was just.
Well, it doesn't like normal food. Just give it bananas.
Yeah, it seems to wind it up as it a lot that we don't give it bananas.
Yeah, just banana diet, and it'll be slightly less sweary than it is at the moment.
I think we'll just let you. We might release it onto the streets. I don't think it's going to cause you any problems. Somehow, all I can say is thank you for your time. We sort of cleared a few matters. You're not going to take it on. We're not going to take it on. I think we'll just kick it out the door.
Well, one suggestion. I'm not really sure, but there was this one company. Oh, who were they? Oh yeah. I forget what's the name of the genetic manipulation company.
Oh, Beyond Human LLC.
Yeah, those people. I've heard about them. They might be interested in taking care of the money.
Might be
How
right.
do you get it?
Yeah, we could question those guys. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah, no problem. Just don't want to run into that thing again.
No.
I mean, they might compensate you for your trouble as well.
Yeah, could end up being quite good for you.
They sort of look at each other. I think we've underestimated you, gentlemen. And they sort of shake your hands, and you're free to go. Just
Thank you.
out of the door to the left, just follow the passageway out, and you'll be out in the back into the street.
Yeah.
Have a good day, gentlemen. And thank you. Was it Kovac?
Mr.
Kovac for the good idea. It will be noted.
I mean, what idea? I mean, I thought it was your idea. We didn't hear anything.
Got you. They sort of wink their eyes. Yep.
Once we're out, I assume, what type of phones do we have?
Phones.
Yeah. Well, do we have phones?
2005, they would be nothing more than, was it, glorified Nokias?
Oh yeah.
It would be, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be the big Samsungs. It would be the small ones.
All right. Well, I'll take out my phone and text a certain number saying, Peace Force has the package, might be incoming. And that'll be the end of it. And I'll just do that quickly and just pocket my phone.
Yeah, incoming.
Hmm.
And we'll see.
Well, that was two birds with one stone.
Hopefully, we'll have to
As
deal
you're
with
sitting
that.
there, a gentleman sort of walks into you, accidentally.
Me?
Yeah, into you, and sort of turns around and says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to." And his coat's opened, and underneath the coat there is what would be best described as an SS uniform.
Huh.
Black SS uniform, and he sort of quickly was.
Where are you going, soldier?
Nowhere. Nice to see you. Bye.
You all right?
Yeah, he's walking off quickly.
I don't know, but that guy kind of looks suspicious. I have a knack for
Check
wanting
your pocket.
to follow suspicious people.
You check
Check your pockets.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, check pockets, I guess.
Yeah, everything's there,
All right.
Including the notes.
including the notes.
Anything new?
No.
What would you like to pursue, Professor?
I don't think there's much point. I mean, really, we need to get rid of these notes now. That was exceptionally lucky that they didn't find them. Or ask for them. Or something.
I don't think they'll care too much if we just have some odd German money on us.
It's definitely very odd German money. Yeah, if you want.
Well, I'm gonna go and pop mine in the university vault so that it's away from me.
Alright. I guess I'll follow you there.
So you're putting yours in.
Well, that went a lot better than the last time I was at the police station.
Last time?
Yeah, I've been arrested twice since I've been here.
Oh.
And to be honest, the last time they kept me there overnight for absolutely no reason and were really, well, aggressive, but Mr. Smith ironed it out, hence their reference to Mr. Smith. And they had to apologise, which they didn't like. Which is why they were exceptionally nice to us this time.
Yeah.
Although hopefully your rather clever move with the creature means that we might have less problems in the future.
Maybe we'll be in their good graces.
Yeah.
What you're going to do with the notes, your own notes, Mr. Kovac? Are you going to put them in the archive, or are you going to keep them?
I'll put most of them in the archive, but I'll keep like a few on me, maybe like 100 of whatever the currency is on me.
I think the notes were thousands. So yeah, thousand, yeah.
Oh. Well, I'll keep one of them on me.
Professor Dalton just gives you a like one of those A4 boxes that's got nothing in it, and he just tells you to write something that sounds really boring on the front, and then gives you a stack of old exam papers to put on top of whatever you want to put in there.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'll put the things in there.
Yeah.
Professor Dalton just writes 1998 past exam papers, and then some random really boring module that he's just thought up on the fly.
I'll just scribble on it and make it look like it's like really bad cursive.
Aha.
And then it goes on a shelf.
Yes, I think I know what I'm just about to do. Yep, and do you wander back to your own office, or do you stay around the university for a short while? Is it sort of, you've got the rest of the day to yourself?
Today, so Professor Dalton doesn't have a lot of work stuff to do.
No, I think it's a Saturday, and students don't tend to work on Saturdays.
No.
Yeah, as you're wandering around wandering back around the department, you meet again a gentleman you sort of saw outside of the CEO office of the Beyond Human LLC, a large German gentleman, and he says, in a very heavy German accent, he says, Professor Dalton, and who's your companion?
This is my security consultant, Mr. Kovac.
You do remember me, don't you, Professor Dalton? Or do you want me to, remind you?
I'm thinking, is it General von Falkenhausen?
Yes.
Yes.
So you say,
a pleasure to see you again, General von
As
Falkenhausen.
you said last time, your reputation seemed to, precede you, Professor Dalton. How did the business with Beyond Human LLC go in the end? Was it all sorted?
Well, hopefully it should be resolving itself as we speak.
Good. That's always good to hear. After all, was it if I remember your reputation is of finding stuff and getting things sorted out. My brother speaks highly of you, though he's a little put out by the fact that you were sort of moving departments for the next few months.
Well, for a few months, I may go back to archaeology. It depends on how it goes.
Oh yes, was it not always been, was it an interest of mine, was it but hey, being a military man, we're not exactly noted for our imagination. As my brother says, was it I'm rather stuffy. Yes, though was it my brother doesn't tend to like me that much, unfortunately. Always seems to think
it is unfortunate.
It is, but hey, was it one cannot, was it choose one's family, as you say. Now you said you now need a security consultant. Are things getting a little more interesting for you, Mr. Professor?
Yes, it's had one or two slightly worrying incidents, but I'm sure it's nothing that Mr. Kovacs can't handle.
It's always good, as it said, since retiring to this island, I would have, was it a little use of such things. Retirement, has been, I say, been a very pleasant experience. Lots of, where you say, no work, no, worrying about, troops, etc. None of the boring, office work you have to do.
What's wearing a uniform?
No, he isn't. He's dressed as like as in, it's good to be away from, such things. I gather, even in your job, there's a lot of paperwork.
Oh yes, farting.
Yeah, have you found anything interesting on the island yet, Professor? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, well, I mean, Amarja is a very interesting place. I mean, it has a very unique archaeology to it, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yes, it certainly has some unique features to it. Including there, very strange, thing of wearing, hanging nooses around their necks.
The symbolism behind it escapes me, but...
Same here, being like yourself and probably Mr. Kovac here, being from mainland Europe, the whole thing does seem to... it seems a very strange, hobby.
Well, it's a little macabre, isn't it?
Well, yes, but in this island it's not surprising after all. Right. And, Mr. Kovac, I've not seen you around before. Have you been here long on Amarja?
Not all too long, but I'm making my rounds.
And I don't mind asking, what brought you to this wonderful island?
Work things, Have to go places, travel. Work travels, and you gotta travel with it.
Indeed so. It's always the way of things. So it's nice to see you again, Professor. I won't take too much of your valuable time because you do, from what I gather from my brother, you are a very busy gentleman. Pardon me. And he sort of shakes your hand and shakes, Mr. Kovac's hands. Good day, gentlemen. Sort of stops, stiffly stands up, clicks his back heels and sort of bows, very, very German, and then sort of walks off.
That's the former General von Falkenhausen, the brother of the professor you met earlier.
Oh, alright. Yeah, I figured.
What was his first name? I can't remember.
I don't think he ever told you, did he? But if you've got it noted, it would be Lucas.
With a K?
With a K. Subtly go and look back at some... I'll tell you a free hint here. Look at some of the handouts you were given. The name has appeared before. in a message you got given. And one of your first jumps. And you've already used the name.
He's the Ober
SS Ober Gruppenführer.
Yeah. So now you can say you're a friend of his when we get stopped in 1945 too.
Indeed, I can.
I hope you don't mind me describing you as a security consultant. It's the only thing I can think of, and it shuts people up.
It's fine. If they ever need to be shut up, I can definitely make that happen. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I know that people with jobs such as yours generally don't like sharing details. So.
And I think you need that. You're still carrying your fire extinguisher, are you?
Yes, I am.
Believe me, considering Amarja, someone carrying a fire extinguisher is not going towards it to do that. You basically have the rest of the day and the evening to yourself. Are you going to do anything special for the rest of the day?
Can we collect our papers off Bartosz if he's finished them?
You can go back to your... He should have actually, if you go back in the evening, he should actually have them, was it done?
Yeah.
And yeah, they actually look pretty good.
Yeah, so the professor will take you back to his apartment on campus. And
It's off campus, yeah.
He'll introduce you to Bartosz, who is his assistant and a student at the university. And he helps me out with one or two of my more unusual requests, and this is one of them.
Yeah, he's basically created... They'd be passable. And they look like standard 1945 cursory look. They would look like that. Paper would be wrong, because it would be printed paper, but if they looked at it, they would look like, was it, the usual things, and it says Major Kovac. So it just says Army, and yourself is just SS.
Okay.
Yeah, Waffen SS. I think Army's here, HEER. It's very department. So you now have a set of.
Do they look printer fresh, or do we need to crumple them a bit?
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Yeah, you'd have to sort of crumple them a little bit, and you can put them out of the pocket in there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try and make them look a bit dog-eared and like we've had them for a little while.
Not to Germany. Yeah, so it says the major and that. Yeah, so you have a set of papers that if you were to put them under someone's nose, they would look the part.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it's got your full title on there, which is SS. That's probably enough to scare most people.
Yeah.
Because if you see Germans, if they saw anything that starts with SS, they'll go.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to be dealing with these people. Yeah, and for the rest of the evening, it seems to go fairly quiet. Nothing actually happens. If you go back home or go out, you can have a nice quiet evening. No talking dogs. Again, if anything, it's gone quiet again for Amarja. No, was it weird? Was it cars floating in space? No big dragons flying over. If anything, it's starting to get rather, quiet and boring again.
I'll mention to Dalton, I'm almost disappointed that we didn't randomly get teleported to 1940 this morning.
Yes, it would have been intriguing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I feel like also we were looking at those hieroglyph thingies. I felt like we were onto something. But
yeah,
because
Professor Dalton will dig out his notes.
Yeah.
And he's got copies of the hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
and he's in his apartment now, so he will probably dig out sort of books with the Greek alphabet and the Roman one and the Egyptian one, and see if we can find any symbols that are similar.
They're not Greek. They're certainly not Roman. They have.
Or if there are any influences, that's what he's looking for. Not carbon copies, but
they're similar to the hieroglyphs. If anything, they look more primitive. And you start to see there are some sort of analogous ones on there. Things like the glyph for things like is it like the corn head? There is you might think there's a very simplified version in the glyphs on the stones. Very simplified version of something like the I think it's the hawk, isn't it? One. And if you start looking at them, they seem to be, as the hieroglyphs tend to have those. They would be very similar to very early ones. We're talking, was it probably first to second dynasty, which means they're a lot older than what they originally said, which was 6. Which means that first dynasty, was it Egyptian, was a bit more than 600 AD, if I remember right. Let me have a quick look.
Okay. What if we go back further? What if we go for, I don't know, Babylonian or something like that?
No, those tend to be from a cuneiform.
Okay.
As in, they tend to use the sticks, if I remember rightly. They tend to use a completely different symbol. And we are talking early Egyptian. No, early Egyptian is actually. That would mean if they're very similar to that, those have got to be at least 3000 BC or BCE and earlier, rather than 600 years. They said. So those glyphs are a lot older.
This is truly exciting. We could be looking at a language which has, I mean, you're before even ancient Egypt. Professor Dalton is actually really excited.
Yeah, these look a lot older, even as if they are a precursor to.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking. I mean, this is remarkable. I've never seen anything like this before.
Pre-Egyptian first dynasty.
I had this crazy little theory in my head, because when we went to Victorian England, we saw these on the machine. It was very, we had no clue what that machine did, but I don't know. I just thought it's very odd. Couldn't see any direct thing it was doing, and then we were back here. And I don't know. The little message you got, the meeting which we did not get to, said that they were testing some sort of reality machine. I was just wondering if those two were one and the same almost. Because if you had a machine that was supposedly going to break realities, especially in Victorian London, it wouldn't look like it made any sense, and it might not be easy to tell what it's actually doing. It's not like it's pushing a cup of water or something, or driving a car. There's not really a visible change, at least to my understanding. So, I was just wondering if there were multiple machines. That's kind of why I was curious to see if we'd end up there, see if we could find maybe those hieroglyph thingies on the machine. But
I do wonder if it's something called the reality engine.
Well, if it is the reality engine and the infernal machine are similar, I could definitely see.
I think they're one and the same.
Breaking. If it's the same, then it's definitely breaking through reality.
Oh, it's already broken.
The strange thing is that I'm sure. I'm just going to have to double check something with Andy before I say it, because I don't
that's
get it
fine.
wrong.
Bear with me, I'll get down to...
No, so alright, I'll just put it in a text chat then.
Yeah.
Not that.
Just go down to your private channel, that should do it. I was just...
no, it's okay, I'll pop it in the text chat. It's
yeah,
fine.
I was just... Oh dear, that's it. It would be. These glyphs could date back before the Bronze Age. Oh, I can't type. That one. That's the answer. That was the very first jump.
The very first time that I experienced a time jump, I was told that I was going to be involved in, or I was involved in, the creation, something called a reality engine. I have no idea what that is, and I don't think it's happened yet.
Well, there was
but I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I really rather not have the dimension where Nazis won kind of break into ours. It's just my personal opinion, but that seems like it would be a bit of a party crash.
I mean, I'm trying to actively make decisions where that's not going to happen, because I don't want to see that happen either. But without knowing what led to it, I don't know if by making these decisions I'm going along the right path or the wrong one.
Yep.
Yeah, I think to really understand, we probably have to spend some more time in Germany, or well, not in Germany, but in that German.
Yeah.
See what is actually happening there, because we're only getting bits and pieces.
Well, we're getting snapshots, aren't we?
Yeah. Stuff like that.
So yeah, I mean, we might have to do some research about what life was like in the 1940s, because I mean, we don't want to drop ourselves in it by accidentally getting things wrong.
We could. Well.
Yeah. I mean, even something as simple as dropping a phone in that time period could alter history.
Well, but it's not exactly all. Well, it depends on, is that the past or is that another reality's past?
I don't know.
Because if it's another reality's past, then we probably don't have to worry, because it's not our reality.
Yeah.
To be honest, the whole idea of, the butterfly effect, you step on a butterfly, everything changes, only really applies if you're going from your future to your past, somewhat. Because it's all, whether you care or not, you want to still exist, but we don't know what we'd be disrupting. And to be honest, if it's Nazis, then hopefully anything we would do would just make it better. As in less Nazis, not as in more Nazis.
Yeah, less Nazis would be good.
I'll leave you to do it. When you want to move on, just tell me. But I'll leave you to, otherwise I'll leave you to chat until you're finished.
Yeah, it's quite the problem, isn't it? Sadly, this is one of the things about Amarja, that it is just a very, very strange place. As I'm sure you're coming to realise.
Yep. I should not have taken this job.
Well, you know what? I don't really have much of a choice anymore. We're stuck. I think if we don't do anything about it, it's not going to make anything better.
No, that's very true.
Well, I think you've learnt a few things anyway, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Definitely
Yeah.
some things that have excited Dalton.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably just chat away for the rest of the evening. And
Yeah. If
Kind of conspiracy theories and such. A little bit of...
oh God, don't.
Professor Dalton, was it actually bore you about the conspiracy theories?
No. I was thinking Bartosz, my student, who is very much into that sort of thing.
He will. If you start talking conspiracy theories, that's it. You will have an evening talk with Bartosz talking about that.
I'll mention it like just kind of as a passing thing and get caught in that.
Yeah, that was a passing thing. You'll mention to Professor Dalton about the broadcast debuncle, where you met the various groups and sold off the tablet.
Yeah.
Yes, and all the various groups you met, including the Mafia and the UN and other equally unpleasant gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, your evening goes fine. I think I've got about 15 minutes worth more material, so we'll call it day at 10. So evening goes fine. Are you going to stay at the flat, or are you going to go home late in the evening, Victor?
You are welcome to stay. There is a spare room if you wish.
Would you like me to stay or not?
It's entirely up to you. It's entirely up to you.
I'll stay the one night.
Okay.
Yep. Well, that means you can break the whiskey out.
Yeah, Professor Dalton will break out the whiskey if you're not driving home.
Yeah.
Okay.
After taking the dog for the evening walk, which you have to do, and food will be there. Oh, you haven't had the visit from the gunny at the moment.
Oh, good.
The gentleman that's eaten your fridge out twice. Yes, so far. And left you the bowl.
Yeah, that was great.
Which is still just a plain bowl which seems to have no special powers or anything.
Oh well.
Yeah. And the next morning you sort of wake up, and actually fairly early in the morning you get a knock on the door.
Yeah, Professor Dalton will go and answer it.
And it's your familiar, guy from Shadow, Couriers? The one, Mr. Taylor? Ah, good morning, Professor Taylor? Professor Dalton. It's early morning, sorry, about that? I've been sort of sent by, our friend Mr. Smith to hand some, monies you owed from a Professor Kursau?
Yes.
He sort of gives you 2 white envelopes.
Thank you.
That's no problem. One's got your name on and one's got Mr. Kovac's name on it.
Is that Mr. Carter, did you say?
Kovac.
No, the chap who's at the door.
Oh, Mr. I think it was Mr. Taylor.
Oh, sorry.
The one that managed to be in 2 places at once. And you still don't know how he did it.
No.
Yeah. And
and Mr. Taylor, next time, if you want me to collect a crate, if there's something that's not inanimate, please let me know.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Professor Dalton. We usually... It's usually ourselves that deliver the crates to you, but I'll take that on board. And he smiles. It seems you've had the, Courier's, Delight? A crate that talks. And he smiles and wanders off down the corridor.
Great. That was Mr. Taylor. He has a courier service, which will move assorted things from furniture to things that aren't furniture.
And he's provided you with the envelopes.
Oh yes, and here's your payment.
Thank you.
And this time, if you
Is it actually real dollars?
Oh yes, there's $400 in there each.
Nice.
And was it brand new, crispy? Was it dollar bills which are dated right and look right, with the right president on them?
Excellent.
And no more of these dodgy notes anymore.
Hmm.
Ooh. And you have another day. What are you going to do today? Are you going to do a bit more investigation, or are you going to go out and do some... Oh, you little tinker. Oh, I thought I missed a C note. Yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to have a breakfast, walk your dog, and then where are you going to go?
Well, how much of the island has Mr. Kovac seen? Have you seen a lot of it, or not really?
I've only really seen what I've needed to see, which I wouldn't say is too much. Is there anything we could see that would also help our investigation? I assume you don't have an Amarja Museum of Natural History or something.
I don't think there is, but there was a very...
I mean, I've been to a museum, but it's not what you think it is.
That's the one. I don't think there is a museum on there, per se. Yeah, it was a museum of freaks, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was more of a Victorian freak show than a museum.
No,
I thought it was a museum. It wasn't.
the nearest you would get is probably the university.
Yeah.
There would be mostly exhibits, and they would be in...
The nearest is probably the vault, to be honest.
Yeah, and there's the rest of the university. There's no museums per se there. Probably freak shows. The university is a hospital. It's not like any other city you've seen before. In so much there's not many amenities, not many sort of tourist stuffs. Lots of little shops. The very weird airport, and that's about it. But no museums per se. Not like they don't have tourist traps like that. The nearest you might do is was it university? They may have. Was it some of the departments may have. Was it more? Well, the public displays may be interesting, or you can go and talk to your colleagues in the archaeology department, especially find out ones who are more interested in the early history of Amarja itself. Which is...
Well, I mean, it depends on how much we want to share, really.
Yeah, you have your sciencey friends. I don't know if they'd be as interested in these rocks and letters as you are, but if it helps, then it could be worth thinking about.
I mean, we could see... Well, the objects are all in the...
archives, yeah.
All in the archives, so somebody's got to have brought them in, because it wasn't me.
Yeah, there would be names on there.
Yeah, there's got to be names on there as to who.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we can see if... Yeah. We can see if we can work out who's the expert on these things.
So
Let's
you're
hope there's
you're
no
going to talk to the experts.
Yeah.
Just glyphs. So after you've had your breakfast, and you all do that, and you sort of start to make your way out towards university.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know that issue you have for going through doors. As you leave the front door of your Professor Dalton's house, you seem to be standing outside the bull and bush. not outside, not in the corridor of your house.
Oh, not again. These time slips have something to do with the Bull and Bush. Either we're there, or we end up there.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, this is another thing we're dealing with?
Are we in a different time zone?
If you look at your watches, it's a few seconds after you were there before. If you look at the Bull and Bush, it's locked.
Is it a different time period? Are there people wearing 1945
No,
stuff?
it just looks exactly as it was yesterday. Same shops. It feels no different to there. The only difference is across the street, two men in very dark suits, black ties, and mirror shades are sort of walking in your direction.
What time of
me.
day is it?
They seem to be not rushing; they're just walking in the direction. And
Are our bikes there?
no,
I'll just walk with wherever Professor Dalton's going. This is all too much for me to figure out on my own. What time of day is it? If this is locked, is it like really early morning, or is it
it's
like really
as you
late
left.
morning?
It would have been early morning, around 9 o'clock, so the pub would be closed at 9.
Okay, but it's the day before?
No, it looks like it's the same day, but
Okay,
without
so
finding a
we
newspaper, you
transport
would know.
days. Alright. That's
Yeah.
fun.
So we've
You're walking away.
we've sort of slipped geographically, but not in time, sort of.
So,
As the men getting close to you, they say, excuse me, please, will you accompany us? We have a few questions to ask you. We would like
Who are you?
who's asking?
He's looking at you guys, both of you. We would like you to come quietly, but will use force to compel you.
Who are you?
Basically, you don't need to know who we are, just that we would like you to accompany us. And one opens his jacket, and there's a very strange little gun in his pocket.
One moment. Turn and do a little huddle with Professor. What do you think?
I mean,
They do have a gun.
yeah, but also I don't like getting.
gun. Who knows?
I mean, also, I don't really like getting in cars with people I don't know. I don't know who these people are.
Well,
I've seen them before, I think, but I don't know who they are.
what
You
would you
have,
suggest?
yes. I just remembered where you saw them. I do. Gentlemen, Superior said he would really like to see you. He would like to see you in one piece.
Yeah, just one moment, please. I'm having a rough morning.
Fire extinguisher! Fire extinguisher!
Turn back. Okay. Fight or flight. Fight or flight. What are you doing? What do you want to do?
Oh god. The thing is, we haven't got our bikes with us. It's just.
Gentlemen, as I said, he would like to see you in one piece. But if he has to see you dead, he will do.
Just go with them for the moment, and we can maybe break away later.
Fine.
Well, what else?
Yeah, okay. That was directed at them.
Yeah, okay, they sort of relax and say, please follow us.
Alright. I will keep my fire extinguisher on hand and ready.
Yeah. And he
Where are we going?
They actually just go across the road and open the door of a car.
Where are we going?
Nowhere. There
I really
are
like
superiors
that
in here. He just wants a quick word with you.
In the car?
Was it preferable?
Professor Dalton just ducks his head in to see if he can get an idea of who's in there before he puts a foot in the car.
Let's just say a middle-aged Latino gentleman who sort of smiles. Ah, Professor Dalton.
I'm afraid we haven't met.
No, but I know of you. And Mr. Kovac. It would be far more comfortable if you were to come to the car. And where we can have a little chat without being disturbed by unwanted visitors. And the gentleman will make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you get into the car?
Reluctant.
Oh.
Yeah, and the door gets closed behind you, and if anything, you don't hear anything outside of the car at the moment. It seems to be that. Well, all I'll say is nice to see you. I will apologise for the method of getting you here, but I did really want your attention. And make sure you actually join me. My name is Inagro, and before you ask, I know who you are, so no bother denying it. I have, gentlemen, a few questions to ask you to do. What do you know about the reality engine?
Is Inagro his first name or his last name?
Inagro, that's the only name he gives you.
Yeah.
What exactly do you know about the reality engine?
Not a lot at the moment, I will admit. Just we have heard the name before. And strangely in connection with yourselves, for some odd reason.
Who are you?
All I can say, interested parties at the moment.
Just to maybe help, how exactly did you hear our name in connection with this? It might help make things come easier.
Yeah, we have been watching your movements. We are experts at such things.
Oh.
Hence
Any
why.
reason in particular?
More interesting was it Professor Dalton and yourself?
Fair enough.
As was it, for some reason along the line, was it the reality engine has been mentioned with the association to yourself, Professor Dalton?
Pass.
And we are, how we say, fascinated by, was it, if what it is, like it seems like yourself, Professor. So I gather you know as much as we do. Nothing.
I've heard what it is.
Interesting.
We have theories, but it's not much more than theories.
I'll always sit one up for theories. What's your current theory of what the machine is? Or the engine is?
Why do you wish to know?
You give me something, your theory, I will might give you something back.
How do you know there's anything I want?
All I can say is you seem to disappear every few while. And then reappear.
Well, maybe I'm just very good at hiding where I'm going.
I don't think that even our best gentleman outside could perform such a trick. Professor Dalton.
Oh. Never too old to learn new tricks.
Indeed. So it's a new trick you do. So do you use the reality engine to do this? Is it something that you use?
No. As I said, I know the words. I don't know what they mean. I don't have one. I don't know what it is.
But you are... Was it a habit?
It's just a term like red book or green cup or...
I could try a different tack here. Have you had issues going through doors?
You mean like the lock sticking or what?
Not appearing where you expected.
Seems to be doing the rounds at the moment. You're the second person to ask me that question.
Yes. Well, I'll give you one thing. As one of my operatives out there suffered a very similar issue.
What's his name? Bob.
None I know of are called Bob.
It was worth a try.
Though,
Well, I mean, the last gentleman, I strongly suggested that he'd spent far too much time in the pub.
yes. All I will say is such things aren't, how you say, unusual to ourselves. Though we usually control them. They don't tend to happen randomly. If you understand what I'm saying.
Why would you wish for a door to open from one place to another?
That's our own business, but not yours. So, I think I have everything I need to get out of you. I have a sneaking suspicion you are as mystified as ourselves to what's going on. And all I can do is thank you for your time, and you're free to go if you do so.
Well, we could potentially maybe give you a little more, but I think then you really are going to have to answer some of my friends here's questions to really, I guess, earn our trust.
Maybe later on, but at the moment I think I have all what I need out of you. We may talk
You don't
again.
want the information, that's fine by me.
Indeed, Mr. Kovac. And the door opens. Good day, gentlemen, and I will thank you for your time.
Oh, one question. Was that an actual gun? Or was it like some sort of fake prop?
They are
Just-
guns.
Ooh. Alright. Thanks for letting me know. Just curious.
Very effective guns.
Ooh. Fun.
You
Goodbye.
better
Well-
not have anyone seeing you with
I
them.
would be careful. The Peace Force don't like other people carrying weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Be careful of that.
We certainly will be. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
There's about 2 more scenes I need to do, 3 more scenes to do. Do you have any time limits to finish? You'll be alright for another half an hour?
I'm in for a half hour. Oh,
Oh. Yeah. Oh, he's back in again.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi just cut out and then Discord kind of restarted.
That's all right. We're both doing it. Yeah, they might not take the half an hour to do, but if I can do these 3 scenes, that should be it.
Yeah.
We'll leave you at a very good point. Right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you get out of the car, and they close the door, and they sort of wander around the front of the car, and they sort of, the men in suits sort of get into the car, close the door, and the car sort of drives off. One thing you notice, it's very quiet. It doesn't sound as if it's a combustion engine.
Oh, okay.
More people with guns and I don't, and I'm jealous.
I genuinely don't trust that gentleman.
Oh, of course not. He's probably something like the head of the Bureau of Transportation, and it's probably some horribly corrupt, like, organization that makes doors open to different places, and controls the flow of information. I don't know. It sounds sketchy.
Indeed it does, sir, says a voice behind you. I hope this is not a bad time to talk to you, gentlemen. It's a London accent. A gentleman, a half-caste gentleman, who pulls out a, basically you recognise as a British, was it, policeman's warrant.
Does it look like a current policeman's
It
warrant,
certainly
or
does,
is it
yes.
old-fashioned?
It looks
Okay.
current. I'm DC Peter Grant, one of the Met Police in London. Can I have a quick word with you, if it's convenient?
You're a very, very long way from London, my friend.
Indeed, it's unfortunately it comes with the nature of my job, Professor Dalton, and I do know who you are, Professor. If I
Seems
remember,
everybody does these days.
well, it's more your interest in certain artifacts that brings us under myself and my DCI's interest.
And you really just attract everyone's attention. Made my job tough.
What was this gentleman's name? Sorry.
This is I'm DC Peter Grant. Let's find somewhere more comfortable to sit. There is a nice cafe around the corner.
Yeah. Who's your DCI?
My DCI currently is a DCI Nightingale. And before you ask, the unit's special investigations, unit, one of those more obscure, was it, divisions, which I would rather not go into as what it actually does. And he sort of sits down. I'll get straight to the point with you. I gather you weren't pleased being questioned by those gentlemen in the car, in the limousine.
Oh no. Just walking down the street and got accosted.
Indeed, I did witness most of it.
If it had happened in the UK, I mean, I'd have just told them to get stuffed in less polite language, but unfortunately they had a gun.
Interesting. You wouldn't mind telling me what they actually ask you?
Why do you want to know?
Well, we suspect the gentleman in the car is involved in certain illegal activities in London to do with selling technologies to undesirable governments in Amarja. So, and we would appreciate some little help or pointers, if you know what I mean, as in part of the investigation. So anything you could give, any information you could give about those would be greatly appreciated. It may help us to find out what these gentlemen are up to and what...
in advanced technologies.
Well, the easiest way to describe these would be advanced technologies. I would also describe them as more unusual technologies. Of a nature which few people would truly understand outside of myself and at DCI, was it Nightingale? So, what were they questioning you about, if you don't mind me asking?
Hang on.
They were wondering if we were having any trouble with doors. Have you had trouble with doors recently?
No, in what way, as indoors?
Yeah, variety of things, you know.
I don't know, sir. It's a little... Doors not working, doors locked, doors blowing up unexpectedly.
That would be fun.
Believe me, sir, it isn't.
Just look at Professor Dalton, just kind of in confirmation.
I think he's after a certain piece of technology at the moment.
And did he give you any idea of what that technology was? At the moment, he's got his note out and he's sort of writing down stuff.
Well, if you're keeping an eye on him, don't you know?
Not totally at the moment. The gentleman has this knack of being very cagey and disappearing at most inconvenient times.
Well, the doors is how he does it.
Ah. He uses doors how?
Well, can't exactly put the point on it, but you know, sometimes, at least around here, people apparently have been having trouble. They walk through a door and end up somewhere else. And the man in that car said something about they're usually the ones controlling it. So, I assume some sort of weird teleportation gizmo. But don't quote me on that. I'm not a science man.
There are, he says, things that are far stranger than science. But teleportation is unusual. Anything else as this gentleman? Did he give you a name?
No, he didn't give us a name of anybody.
No. Yeah. So it's usually these doors and they go through. They didn't discuss anything else with yourselves.
As I say, they seem to think I had a piece of technology which I am not in possession of.
And what was the name of this technology?
Oh, something engine. Time, reality, space, something along those lines.
Interesting.
Engine, machine.
So that's all he was asking you about. I assume you have no idea about this item in question.
Well, I'm not in possession of it. I'm not entirely sure what it is or what it does. But he did admit that he was following me, and I would be most grateful if he could do something about that.
Unfortunately, this is outside of my jurisdiction, but what I can give you, I can give you my card, and if you can think of anything interesting, or they talk to you again, I would appreciate you sort of giving me a call.
Of course.
And it would be greatly appreciated. As he said, we are sort of investigating this gentleman at the moment for certain things he's doing in London. At which point you're interrupted by the same boy again in the telegraph uniform.
Does the DC react to him when he comes across to the table?
He does. He just looks a bit mystified at the start.
Okay.
Never knew they did telegrams still, and they got the boys going, telegram for Mr. Dalton. Oh, sorry, telegram for Professor Dalton. Telegram. For...
Yes.
Ah, comes along, hands you the telegram over, puts his hand out.
I give him some change.
Thank you, sir, and wanders off. I'll put that on the. Again, you're going to show everybody, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. I'll read it and then pass it to Mr. Kovacs. I'm not showing it to the DC though.
No, the DC says, I think I have asked all the questions on these. I'll leave you to read your telegram. Good day, gentlemen, and I do appreciate that you answered my questions.
You're very welcome.
And he gets up and wanders off.
Well, I have a seeking suspicion that we might have met the Humphreys and the Hortons quietly, as soon as he's like out of earshot.
Yeah, I think we have to. Well,
we didn't tell them too much. Nothing that.
Well, I think I was vague enough to get away with that.
Yeah.
As you're sitting there, you feel like a wave rushes over you. It feels like a physical wave, but isn't there. And you're now standing outside of Burger. In your hand, you have a picture of a red-haired, red-eyed girl. The last thing you remember is just having that discussion you've just had, and now you're standing outside Burger. And it seems it's a little later in the day.
Where's that?
It's actually in, I think it's
Have I been there before?
The Flowers Barrio. No, you haven't. Actually, to be fair, you don't actually know where it is.
I don't know where I am.
Yeah. And you're standing outside this burger joint with a photograph in your hand. And at that point, I'll leave it, but that seems a very good place to do it.
Oh, God.
It's like we're looking for some red-haired girl now. I don't know.
I think that's a good. That's why I wanted to end it that. So
definitely gives something to think about.
Well, I mean, I have no idea where we are or why we're there at the moment.
I need to work out EPs. You've actually given me some extremely good ideas where to take the plot. Because you took a lot more interest in the glyphs, and actually that helps me with some ideas further on. But did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great fun.
As he said, you can see why, as it goes on, you will see why I have to have my head round where things need to go.
It's with it being non-linear, isn't it, in terms of time? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does have. It is linear, but not linear. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it leaves you at the next exciting stage. You're now outside Burger with a photograph of the girl. You're not sitting in the cafe anymore, and we'll work from there.
Okay.
What you've got what's everything else. There we are.
What is that place? How do you spell it?
Burger, and it is a burger place.
Oh right, okay.
It's a fast food restaurant, and I probably don't think you've been down that street.
No, I have. Well, we haven't really been in this district much.
No, if it's the Flowers district, you wouldn't. But no, this street you wouldn't know where you were at all, because you haven't been there before. There we are. And that was a good place as any to end it. That means now I've got to do the next bit. You need to note things like the note. You need to make a note. I know you're carrying one. I need to make a note where you've actually left it. That'd be fun. Where you've left the notes. Yep. And yeah, the wave, as you said, it literally was a wave. and I said it almost instant change.
Yeah.
There's no easy way of doing that. So it will probably in about 3 to 4 weeks' time, because I need to work through the next bit. It will get easier as it goes along, and I think I now have an idea where the plot will go. Yeah, this is going to be fun, because you're going to have bits and pieces working in different areas. It is as he said. So there may be some mistakes made, but that won't detract from the game. But considering what's happening, it all makes sense. So, on that note, I'll leave you to it.
Thank you for a good game. That was great fun.
It's hard work. That's the hard. It's going to get harder than that. If this works, I then want to use this idea again somewhere else. Is it because, or you're free to use it in other games? And then I explain why it takes a lot of hard work to do it. I'll show you the document at the end. There's one document that acts as sort of like a master template of what's going on. If I lose that, I'm a bit stuffed. And I've still got to add to it other bits and pieces. And I had to sit there and do all the NPCs, which is going to be fun.